How's it going, everybody? Doing a drink review here today and eating some peanut butter sandwiches and rambling the usual. I'll be re-reviewing the Ghost Orange Cream energy drink. I know I reviewed this, but I don't know when it was. I do remember liking it, so we'll see how much, if I still like it, as much as I did the first time. I'm just rambling about whatever. Yeah, it's good. I love orange cream stuff. Actually, if anybody wants to see me do an eating video, I have some Friendly's orange cream ice cream. If anybody wants to see an eating video of that, that's really good. I just like that combination. And this one is really good. I don't know what I gave it last time. Honestly, I'd probably go 9.5 on this. I might have not gone that high last time. It's just good. I like the flavor, and it does it well. Literally tastes very similar to the ice cream I had, or an orange cream bar. But yeah, it was like very quick. I'll keep drinking that, obviously, but peanut butter sandwiches. I was asked in a comment about talking about what I do for work. Obviously, I know I've discussed it before, but worked at a screen printing shop, silk screening. That's where this shirt was printed. I do the unboxing, folding, boxing up. I clean and reclaim the screens, stuff like that. Other odd things, clean squeegees, things of that nature. I work with friends, so it's always a good time when I'm there. That's all it really is to it. But yes, that's what's done there. The shirts are printed, any kind of really garment, sweatpants, shirts, bags, aprons, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, shorts, jerseys, all that stuff. Like I said, I've gotten plenty of shirts from there. This meeting. I'll also unload shirts sometimes if there's a big order and it's, a couple people working the order. I'll pull the shirts off, throw them on a dryer. But yeah, that's that. Islanders are 4 points out of playoff spot, 10 to go. 10 games to go, I should say. They beat Florida last night. Washington's the team they got to catch now. It's like bouncing all over the place for that final spot. The Lightning are in the other wild card spot, but they've kind of must be doing well. I don't. If I had to predict, I don't think the Islanders make it. I think they end up at the next 10. I think they win like 6 of them. They'll probably end up with, I think they have 77 points. They'll probably end up with high 80s, like an 89, 91, 90. Too many, and they'll probably lose 2 more overtime games between now and then, so that's what's going to cost in the playoffs anyway. They had too many overtime losses. They have 15. If they only had 3, if they only had 12 and they had no 3 points and they were a point out, because they have a pretty tough schedule. They got the Lightning, the Rangers, Flyers, I believe they play. They might play the Devils, the Penguins. I'd almost prefer them not. They're exactly what they kind of are. They're not a bad team. They are what they are. Fight for a playoff spot. And if they get in, it's like one of the wild card teams. That's kind of what they're at right now. Goaltending hasn't been good this year. Not that Sorokin, Varlamov's been a little better, but he's not playing as much. He did play last night in the win. Sorokin hasn't been garbage, but he has not been nearly as good as last year, and their D just gives up a ton of shots, so he's not bailing them out of games like he did last year, and that's kind of the problem. Like, he's not up to what he usually is when he can bail them out. He's just not doing that. Even still, they get in the playoffs, they're going to play like a Hurricanes or the Rangers or somebody. They probably have a better shot against the Rangers, but because I've said it before, the Hurricanes are literally the Islanders, except with more talent. They play the same kind of system. They just have better players. I think that them and the Rangers are battling first place, but I don't think they'd beat either of those teams. And of course, it's playoff hockey, so anything can happen. But my opinion is, I don't think the Islanders could make any noise. I'd almost rather them not make it, maybe get lucky in the lottery and get a solid pick. Because they're similar to the Broncos, at least the Broncos recently. The Islanders have a hard-on for trading their first-round picks for players. They didn't trade anybody at the deadline this year, and honestly, it was probably the smart move. Because they just would have traded for some dude. Like last year, it was Horvat. And they were able to re-sign him, and he has had a good year. Which is good, but Lammerlow likes to throw those first round picks, and then some of the times it doesn't matter as much because the Islanders do get into the playoffs, and it's a higher pick in the 20s or something, so it's not as big of a deal, but they're just not going to make noise. I think that's why he didn't trade anybody. And I'd like to see what Waugh does with a full season under his belt, because they're still making the same mistakes. Like, they play better and then they play like shit. They're still blowing leads. I think with him with a full off season and everything to tinker with the team, maybe come up with a new system and stuff and figure things out. And there's guys, they got to go. Their bottom 6 is weak. And I think this goes for all sports. It's like me with the Broncos. I haven't had real interest in the Broncos in a while. The only real reason I paid attention a bunch this year is because I was doing the recaps. But I think if you're a fan of a team, a lot of the time, you overrate what they have. It's like Denver doesn't really have a ton of talent. They don't, and you kind of fool yourself. They have more on the defensive side, but not on the offensive side, which is obvious anyway. Their offense has been terrible in the last 2 years. And the same thing with the Islanders. I think you get to know, especially in hockey, some of these players are on the team at least 10 years. And you just you think they're better than they are, or you can't kind of comprehend at first that they're falling off. It's like Anders Lee. He's not what he was. And he's such a specific goal scorer because he's a big body in front of the net. Like, most of his goals come in front of the net. If he only has 18 goals, he should have at least 7, 8 more. And if he's not getting it done, he can still set those screens, but It's just I don't know. A lot of the guys, they have a lot of guys that are like fourth line talent, but they got to do things next year. The thing is, they're not a bad team though. They're just not at that level yet. And now that I said that, they'll win the next 10, make the playoffs, and just all of a sudden go on some kind of run. That is what's nice about hockey, is that kind of stuff can happen. I just don't think it will this year. Baseball started yesterday. Well, it had started with the Dodgers and Padres, the 2 games in Korea, South Korea. But now it's like yesterday was open day because the Mets rained out because of the board here yesterday. The Yankees were on the road. I believe they beat the Astros. I know the Dodgers did beat the Cardinals. Other games, Pirates beat the Marlins in extra innings, and the other one I remember is the Orioles roughed up the Angels. I can't remember any of the other scores. Like I've said before, I'm a Yankees fan, but I just like kind of following baseball, and I'm trying to like get more into the players and stuff, to know more. I know players, but I don't know a ton of them. So I kind of like just following them. But I like the Yankees. It's further when it gets further away from the Yankees' last title. You kind of want maybe you'd like to see him get back into a World Series, but I don't even know how I'd react if they'd won. I don't even know if I'd care. I'd like to see the Mets do well, though. Like I said before, I've always kind of liked the Mets, too. I never was the only time I was like, or I guess when they would play each other in the regular season, when I was like really, or more so into the Yankees. I was never like super into the Yankees, but when I actually cared more, obviously in the Subway Series, I wanted the Yankees to win. And then they play each other during the regular season. You want them to win. But other than that, I don't talk shit about the Mets, really. Because it's not like a rival. It's just a state thing. Oh, we're a better team than you in the state. The Red Sox are the Yankees' chief rival. Even the Astros now, too, even though the Astros beat in the playoffs all the time. There's kind of, I guess, a one-sided rivalry. Who else? I mean, it's the Red Sox, really, and that's it. They don't have, in my opinion, they don't have some kind of crazy rivalry like Tampa or Baltimore or the Blue Jays. Who else is in there? Is that all of them? Or is there another team in there? Am I forgetting somebody? I don't even know anymore. Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, Tampa, Blue Jays. Is there a 6th team? Why don't I know this? Let's check some other scores. This is just going to be a sports ramble here at this point. We did start watching. Hold on a second. I always forget to bring tissue in here, and my nose runs constantly these days. We have been watching. We started watching Yellow Jackets. I guess it was a Showtime show. We're not watching it on Showtime. It's 2 seasons. We watched the first. I think it premiered in maybe 2018 or something. Maybe after that. Cool show. I'm enjoying it. If you've seen it, it's about this plane crash. This is in '96 with this high school soccer team. Things happen when they are abandoned in the woods. They're stuck in the woods. Things start to happen. Some paranormal type stuff or spiritual type things. And it bounces from 96 and 2021 when the people who survived the crash, and they were there for like a year and a half. There's a reason why they're kind of stuck there. A couple of reasons. I think it's a year and change they ended up there. And then they flash back to 2021. Stuff starts happening now to the survivors, and it bounces back and forth. I like it. It's a pretty cool show. ESPN is not working properly. Of course it isn't. On my phone. Let's see if it will now. Here we go. Opening day takeaways. What we learned from a wild start to 20. I hate this kind of shit. This is the kind of reason I've lost interest in sports. A wild start. I feel like it was the same headline last year, except it just said 2023. I understand, obviously, the sports analysts have to be on top of shit all year. In the off season too. I just can't deal with it sometimes. That just annoys the shit out of me. Baseball, it's like, you know what? You don't know shit until about 40 games into the season, okay? You don't know shit. What do we take away from it? Jack shit is what we took away from it. This team won, this team lost. I don't like baseball, you gotta wait at least 40. Now the Mets have to do a makeup already, so they're on today at 140. That's another thing. I do work part-time. It depends how many days I'm getting, depending on how busy the place is. Let's see yesterday. I want to see yesterday. Thursday the 28th. Tigers beat the White Sox 1-0. Twins beat the Royals 4-1. Yankees beat the Astros 5-4. Pirates beat the Marlins 6-5 and 12. Padres beat the Giants 6-4. Dodgers 7-1 over the Cardinals. Blue Jays 8-2 over the Rays. Reds 8-2 over the Nationals. Rangers in 10, 4-3 over the Cubs. Guardians over the Athletics 8-0. Boston beats the Mariners 6-4. Diamondbacks rough up the Rockies 16-1. I was reading, I don't know, I saw this on, they're talking about opening day because it was like prices of games. I saw it on Instagram and the Reds price was high up, and then people were saying how like in Cincinnati, like opening day is like a holiday, like they take off and shit. I did not know this, obviously. I don't live in Cincinnati, but I guess some cities will make it a bigger deal than others. It becomes, like it kind of is too. They, opening day is coming, it's like a big deal, and then the season then starts and people stop giving a shit for a while. That's how baseball is, because there's so many games. It's like you get excited at first, and then it starts to settle, and then you're like, okay, now I can get into it again. But for me, baseball was always like that. Like I couldn't get into it until like the summer, because it's such a long season. Unless you know your team's gonna suck, and you're not interested at all. Like even like if as a Yankee fan, you wait, and you know they're doing well. And if there's a tight race or something, you get more into it. But I just don't, And that's the one thing football has, is that there's not as many games, so every game means so much more than all the other sports, really. Unless it's tennis or something like that, where it's always a thing. Oh, there goes somebody blasting down the road. All gone on those. I am finally getting the ODST gameplay up this weekend. It's going to be literally almost from the beginning of the game. I just played it and I threw in, got to the first checkpoint. I was like, all right. Because I started it up and I'm like, why are the controls inverted? I was like, and then I went to the settings and I don't know why it wasn't set to default. So I'll play that because I was getting, I think it was from the same person, but somebody was saying, oh, you can do a gameplay like kind of like doing the missions because like I do a Final Fantasy and stuff. I'm kind of screwing around doing side stuff. So perfect kind of game as a shooter where it's streamlined and I'm just playing the main campaign as I go along. So I should be filming that tomorrow night, get it up Sunday. I might try to bang out an additional gameplay from the Tecmo Super Bowl. But yeah, I can't wait to kind of open it up again when we get down to North Carolina and do like, I was like thinking about, oh man, I remember I was like, I think I did a Harry Potter role play at one point, maybe throw another one of those into the mix. You know, get some detective action in there again in the garage and stuff like that. So that's exciting. I'm still looking at, because I got those graded cards over there again. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, I talked about how I've been watching some on eBay and then I get an offer from the person and I'm still like, I don't want it. I'm like, I need to only focus on like certain players. Because I think I was watching an Olajuwon. And I was like, you know what, no. But I mean, maybe Kemp and Drexler, more Drexlers and Kemps. And then maybe in like football, TD, obviously, these came from Flip Sports cards. TD, Elway, trying to think of like another NFL player, maybe like a Randy Moss or something like that. I really like it. I used to like Randy Moss when he played. Find another player. I mean, I can do another Bronco like a Shannon Sharp or. I was actually looking at Champ Bailey, but he's got a lot of his are expensive. Who else is there that I really liked? Maybe like an Ed McCaffrey, Rod Smith, perhaps. I was looking at Jake Plummer ones too, because I just always liked Jake Plummer. And then he came to Denver for a couple of years, 3.5 years, I guess it was. When Shanahan's Cutler boner caused Plummer to get benched. And then baseball, I was looking at Griffey's and Frank Thomas. I'd be probably older players. Same thing with hockey as well. I was looking at Pavel Bures and Jagers. A lot of the cards I have, they're just graded. Fedorov, Young Guns, stuff like that. Timu Solani, that kind of stuff. We'll see though. Like I said, it's probably another thing when I get to North Carolina. I think I may focus on that kind of stuff. I'm trying not to like focus on doing things now because we're boxing up shit and all that crap. So I'm trying not to. I'm adding more stuff that I gotta just throw into a box and pack it up, you know. I do need to hit the retro game stores a few more times. I hit this mute button, sometimes it doesn't do anything. I think I did that once, and I farted. I went to hit the mute button and it didn't actually do anything, and I was like, oops. That's the kind of stuff you get on my channel. Highbrow content. I do need to get to the game stores. Again, even though there's one down there in the town, I think I talked about it. Just to hear and get a few games that I do want, because I don't know how it's going to be down there, if it's going to be, because I have not seen the inside of this place. I've seen pictures of it, but not like the inside, so I don't know what the stock's looking like. So if there's things I want to get here, a few things, I'm not going to go nuts. Just grab them here and see how this place is, you know. You know, I'm sure if time to time, if like a Greensboro probably has one, or you know, maybe a Salisbury or Raleigh, Durham, whoever, Charlotte, I'm sure does, has game stores. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, great, you know, that's cool. It'll be nice to get away from the fucking Long Island. Everybody's on edge on Long Island, you know. It's hectic on Long Island, which is not for someone like me. Not to say I don't mind. It's not the pace. It's more, you know, people losing their shit at the drop of a hat because everybody's on edge. There's too much traffic and shit, and everybody's like, everybody's fucking going nuts for no fucking reason. But do need to? There's plenty of games I still want, but we'll see. It's funny, somebody was commenting the other night when I did the C4 one. I was doing it at night, and they're like, "Oh, shit, why would you drink it before going to bed?" Honestly, I went to sleep like right after that video, and a lot of the times the energy drinks, this one actually kind of has. It doesn't happen often though with energy drinks. Like you'll see it, and people have commented. Like sometimes after finishing the drink, maybe 5-10 minutes later, I get a little more like animated. But it doesn't happen often. At least I don't think it does. And that one I didn't. Like I went to sleep right after, and I didn't have any weird dreams or anything like that, and I was able to get to sleep. Maybe it depends on the brand, but I think this is the same amount of caffeine as the other one. 200. Epic Focus. I mean, maybe. Transparent label, of course. It's about like I disclose in the dark, I guess, right? I got this one from I had never gone into this gas station. It's a food mart too, whatever the hell. Never gone in there once. And I'm like, I need to go in there before I leave and see their drink selection. They actually have a lot of the Calypso. So I might grab one of those. I've done drink reviews of them before. It's like pink lemonade, blue lemonade, or blue whatever the hell. Different flavors. Kind of like that kind of stuff, tropical, whatever the fuck type things. So they have more in there, so I might grab one of those, but there was no different Mountain Dews in there or anything. That's like the first thing I'll always look into when I go into a new place. I'm like, what's the Mountain Dew tip? Like, what are we doing on the Mountain Dew side? It's windy again here. It has been windy here quite a bit the past few weeks. It's kind of weird. Look at this. I follow this thing on Instagram called Snackolator. Apparently, Lay's is bringing back some of these chips for regional chip flavors. But we've got a crispy taco Lay's, BLT sandwich, kettle cooked lime and cracked pepper, and fried pickles with ranch. I've had pickled flavored chips before, and they are pretty good. I am a fan of pickles. That's another thing I could do an eating video of, just like buy 2 giant pickles. I used to get those from the deli years ago when I was in, I probably was still in elementary school when I would play Little League. And there would be weekends where my team wasn't playing, or it was playoffs and we didn't make the playoffs or whatever. I'd go watch friends, their teams play, but I'd go to the deli before going to Burns Park. I'd get the iced tea in the big white cup, and like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and a pickle, one of the big pickles. And I'd go over and watch my friends play if I was, or if, I would just go over and watch whoever was playing. In the old Little League days. I think I did that up until 8th grade. I think I've talked about that. I think it was 8th. It was always fun. Coast, that was Coast, Little League. And then there was a PAL in the summer, which I did a few times. I talked about one of those things that happened one year. But yeah, I'll ramble for a few more minutes here, I guess. But the fucking, the tissue. I don't know why I forget to bring the tissue in. I don't think I've been watching anything else. I still gotta watch the 2 episodes of Halo. I do know what happened in the last episode. Someone was commenting, are you going to talk about it? I need to watch them first, but I did look at some highlights of episode 8, and I do need to watch it. Because, like that person said in the comment, it seems like it's finally actually moving more towards, like, actual Halo, even though it's still not going the same route that the games go. It seems like it's becoming, like, more like fucking Halo. So maybe season 3, they will get as close as they can. Like for me personally, it doesn't need to be exactly like the game or the book or the comic. But you do like it to at least somewhat be close to it. I understand it's never going to be exact. I always go in with that thing. It's like, how much are they going to make it like it? Or if they do something different, is it at least going to make sense or be good? And Halo does veer way off, like, let's be honest. But I've been enjoying the second season more so than the first, for sure, but it still has a lot of the same shit, but you're getting a little more stuff to it, at least. You can be like, okay, there could be something here for season 3. As long as they make a season 3, right? I would assume it views fairly well, because there's people who aren't into, or not into the lore of Halo that much, that actually really enjoy the show, so that's good. Alright, this thing's getting annoying, so I think I'm going to turn this off here, but just a drink review of the Orange Cream Ghost. This is a 9.5. I don't know what I gave it last time. A re-review. I don't know if I went that high last time. It's really good. If you like orange cream flavor, you're going to like that. That's pretty much all I can say. It tastes like it should be, and it's good. And eating some PB&J sandwiches, mostly sports rambling, and some other stuff in there as well. But thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.